USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents the Royally Rich Lifestyle Show, starring Ian Pelham Turner and Helena Chard.
Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Royally Rich Lifestyle Show with me, Ian Pelham Turner.
And me, Helena Chard.
As always on ALB UK TV, let's roll the titles, let's get on with the show. Well, as always, Helena is here again, yay, in the studio.
Hooray!
And so you've got some great royal news.
I have. So I'm going to speak about, really we have some various platforms that have contacted us with news items wanting our thoughts. So I thought, why not talk about them today? So starting with the lovely Catherine, Princess of Wales, and her gradual return to duties. Now we have seen quite a bit of her, which has been great. I'm going to start off with seeing her out and about in Cardiff, starting in a children's hospice. And she has been announced as the new patron of this hospice. But what's lovely about it is prior, the Princess Diana actually raised money for this hospice before it was actually built, and also was a previous patron. So really great to see her in fine fettle, really relaxed and sort of managing expectations so well. Everyone was really happy to see her carrying on the vein of her earlier lives work, so really good. Then she moved on to the Corgi factory. The Corgi factory is a textile factory that makes woolen garments, and very fun to see her trying to piece together socks and make some socks, and she couldn't quite work out the little bits of it, had a bit of a challenge, so that was all good fun. And at that time, in fact, it was that day that Kensington Palace released that they're no longer going to be telling the press, telling everybody what she is going to be wearing at events. So everyone's shocked and thinking, oh, good grief. But it's quite an interesting one. It's to begin with, I was really quite sad, but then I sort of flipped it. But she's decided she wants to be taken a little bit more seriously, that her causes, the charities and people that she champions, she wants them to take the spotlight, not everybody to be talking about her fashion as first port of call. So really it's substance, not style, that she's after. So what are your thoughts, Ian?
Did you know, I remember years ago, I was doing an interview with another channel. Basically it was the latest photographs of the Queen at that time, and I think it was with Charles and William and George, and so it was a four shot, and the Queen was sat down, and they were asking me what did I think of the photograph, and I said, well, in reality it's an interesting photograph, but normally the photographer should have asked for the Queen's handbag to be taken out of shot because it was by her feet. The next thing I knew was, who's made the handbag? And so basically the whole emphasis of the interview changed from that, and I could see executives from the TV channel rushing around trying to find out who had created the handbag. So sometimes fashion can overtake royalty. They just have to get used to it.
Yeah, I think my feeling is, to begin with, I thought, oh goodness, but in fact, she's not saying you can't report on my fashion, because as we know, it brings in, roughly $1 billion a year, the Kate effect, and it's so important. I think at this particular event, she had it was a £40 dress from Zara or something, but there are so many people that work on this, and within a snippet, it will be on social media, so everyone will find out what she's wearing. It's not going to just suddenly disappear, and in fact, it opens up the thoughts that you don't normally hear what the men are wearing, and obviously Prince William at the moment's looking very cool, and I forget what you call those jackets or something. So I think now is the time to start reporting on all clothes, because it's almost a bit sexist, isn't it? So I think in a way it can open things up. I know that the fashion market have been they're a bit upset, because it's almost like a little bit of disdain that the fashion world is not quite as good as her charity work, but it's not the case at all. And I can see things really going the full hog, and Charles is going to be a style icon along with Prince William. So let's just see what happens. But it's an interesting thought, I feel, and good on Catherine, Princess of Wales. I think she really has come into herself and obviously knows what she wants. But moving on, we saw her at the National Portrait Gallery, which was really good fun. In fact, this was yesterday, launching an interactive trail called Bobine. It's a tree trail. And this is all part of her under fives, developing emotional intelligence and social skills and everything like that. Quite interesting that 92% of people are interested in what she's doing. I think it's a great thing. 42% of the people interviewed didn't actually know what it meant, what emotional and social skills really meant, how they could help, which is so low. I was really quite shocked. But as we know, the Royal Foundation Centre for Early Childhoods is her project she works on. And it's based on the Shaping Us framework, which does a lot of research with experts into what's needed. And they've created this frame, which is something like 30 social and emotional skills crucial to living a social life. And the crucial thing is crucial to living a happy life throughout your life, and obviously it's specific to under 5-year-olds, and it's giving parents a toolkit, and also telling the parents to get off their phones, which is really important. Apparently that's the biggest thing at the moment. People are so addicted to their phones, and you can just see it's a very simple thing. So moving on, so the lovely Anna Wintour, so she has been, she's 75 now, the longest serving editor-in-chief of Vogue. That's a position that she's held since 1988, believe it or not. So she's broken her silence about Catherine's Vogue rumours. She's recently received her Companion of Honour from King Charles. It's a very special award last year that she received. And quite interestingly, I think King Charles asked her if she was going to retire, for which she said absolutely not. She loves her work and is going to carry on with it. She was seen wearing her Queen Mary's wonderful, elaborate amethyst necklace, which I think she bought in auction for the most amazing price. It was Queen Mary's necklace, which is great. And she mentioned that she's given Catherine the chance to appear on Vogue, definitely UK-based and also American-based Vogue, and in fact any cover of Vogue. She can choose her photographer and also what she wants to wear, and this is because of obviously her inspiration. She's very inspirational to a lot of women, to do with her cancer journey, and also being with her 3 children, sort of surviving it, and now coming out the other end and talking to cancer survivors. She really has an affinity with them, so she's got a great story to tell. I actually think she should do it. Whether she will or not, I don't know, but I feel that she should do it. And with reference to cancer, World Cancer Day the other day, and Prince Louis has taken a photograph. He's only 6 of Catherine, Princess of Wales, believe it or not.
And it's the photograph in amongst trees.
It is, look, and she's looking like a tree there with her arms out. Now, I think it's a strong picture, and it's great that Louis taken it. And obviously, it's to do with nurturing, and she had a nice little line with it, which is not to forget, don't forget to nurture all that's beyond illness. And it's great. And obviously, she grounds herself in the great outdoors, and I think it's a really lovely picture. Good for her.
Absolutely.
Prince Harry. Now, we have been hearing quite a bit about Prince Harry, but the good thing is the Invictus Games is coming very soon. In fact, this Saturday it starts. It's from the 8th to the 15th. So the intro day is going to be a great day full of performers. I know that, goodness me, what's his name? I can't think. Well, actually, there's a small thing that's slightly different I wanted to share. People are disappointed with that they've taken away rifles and they have changed it to using lasers, and people are worried it's going to hinder their performance. But it's for safety and practicality reasons, and also it's to do with inclusivity, I guess, because I can imagine that some people, this is the Invictus Games in Vancouver, by the way, in Canada, but I'd imagine some people are susceptible and wouldn't want to be hearing gunfire, so I'd sort of get that. So Chris Martin, that's who I was saying, he actually wrote the theme tune to the Invictus Games in 2014. He's going to be performing along with Katy Perry, Nelly Furtado. It's going to be a really fun celebration, but we're not too sure whether he's going to be able to make the day because of Trump's immigration policy and his stance to Prince Harry. Again, you know, there's the visa situation, and the Heritage Foundation, which is obviously tied closely with Trump, has reared its head and has decided, I think it's today actually, that they're putting forward that they want to proceed with a court case. They want to have a look at the papers and see whether he's lied, and if so, obviously the inevitable will happen. I cannot see that happening, and I also can't believe that Prince Harry will not be at the opening day of the Invictus Games. And I think finally, moving on to Prince William, I think this is a nice one to end on because we have a business section coming shortly. So Prince William, dubbed as Britain's Trump card, pardon the pun. He has the approval rating, obviously, which is really high, and I know that people are wanting him to take centre stage, and he is taking centre stage. He gets on well with Trump, and we have the Keir Starmer, Trump, I think, royal family triangle, and we're just hoping that, you know, I think he'll be able to sort things out, because we do need trade deals sorted and tariffs and a better relationship and all the rest of it. So Starmer obviously would love the relationship that Prince William has with Trump. So let's see what happens. And I think this is a good point to move on to our new business section, well, newish business section.
Absolutely. So basically now it's been 5 years since we exited the EU and really started Brexit. And so this week I've been looking at to see what have been the effects of coming out of the EU. Are there pluses and minuses? And really it's a mixed bag of what are really the influences and the ambitions now of the British government. I think the reality, first of all, is that Keir Starmer seems to be urging a little bit more towards the EU again. He's cozying up to the EU just as much as he's trying to keep on good terms with Donald Trump at the same time in his new presidency. But I think the reality at the moment is that over those 5 years, so many things have actually happened. And when you look in terms of trade has diminished. There's no two ways about it over the past 5 years, and the amount of trade that Britain has done, really, although they've tried to open up new trade deals across the world, and they've signed a new deal that even China might be working with before too long, the reality at the moment is that the overall trade has gone down, and it's gone down quite a considerable rate. It's gone down almost to 9% of what we were used to doing with. And obviously, the biggest problem that we know happens at the moment is that when nowadays it's not so much tariffs that are causing a problems with us and the EU, it's really all the paperwork that's actually required. Now, one of our Scottish friends, Simon MacDonald, who heads up the Scottish fisheries, that the reality is that 70 types of fish might be on one lorry load of fish going from Scotland to the EU. Now, each style of fish has to have its own, what they call passport now, this paperwork that is attached to it. So by the time they get through customs with this lorry load of fish, the reality is that some of it could have gone off because it takes so long for this paperwork to happen. So that's been one of the major problems with the actual trade side. With immigration, that's been a plus and minus. Basically, the immigration side from the EU has dramatically dropped over the past 5 years. There's no two ways about it. But the inbound immigration from other countries has increased dramatically as well. So from that aspect again, has Brexit worked? There's a question mark over it. Travel, the biggest problem with travel a lot of the time is that nowadays we cannot use the same channels that we used to go through for passport control. We have to go through an out-of-the-country channel now to visit anywhere in the EU. And the problem with that is that the EU are introducing a new biometric coding system that could cause even more queues trying to get through passport control anywhere in Europe. Then laws. This is probably one of the most strangest things that have happened, is that when we took over, basically we wanted to actually not have a huge amount of laws from the EU, but we actually brought in 6,901 individual laws to be retained so that we could have this simplistic, so-called simplistic system. And basically, again, a lot of them have still been evoked at the same time. But what it meant was that we were no longer having attached to EU law. So when the Labour Party came into power, one of the pledges that they made was that they were going to put VAT onto private schools from now on. And if we had been part of the EU, this would not have been allowed. So basically, it's helped the Labour Party in that way. But in reality, from a money point of view, basically now we are still paying into the EU budget years later. This was the agreement at the time. And so a lot of people are sort of saying, what have been the values of the EU? What have been the values of going back into the EU in some way? And so Sir Keir Starmer, I think, has got a very, really tightrope world to walk in this year regarding EU. What do you think yourself, Helena?
It's, I'm just thinking to myself, it's been something like 47 years or something since, is that when things started, wasn't it? And obviously we've been out of the EU for 5 years. I mean, it's a tricky one. I think lots and lots of things, and we're in a very precarious world, obviously with Trump, Mr. Discombobulator, making us all feel slightly uncertain. You know, my feeling, I think small businesses have been impacted by Brexit hugely, and I want to know what the government is doing to help the small businesses that we so need. The larger businesses have had slightly more backing, I would say. Just thinking about trade in general, obviously this trade war is almost being sparked by Trump. I'm just wondering how how Starmer is going to actually balance things out. You know, is he going to be racing to try and work things out with Europe? How will Trump react? You know, what's going to happen? It's that horror story, isn't it? You can see people getting desperate, getting angry. It's the things that happened, you know, World War previously. People get nationalists, and then it's war. You know, and there's so much really that we could talk about with this. But I do think it's been 5 years. I think certain companies, funnily enough, like advertising and certain skill bases have done incredibly well over it. But obviously product-wise, we haven't done so well. And I just would like to see a few more trade deals. We have had a few trade deals, but they just haven't been good enough. So now is the time, I think, that people really, really need to get things going. And Kemi Badenoch really needs to raise her game too, is my feeling.
So some very sage words from Helena as well on the subject. So now we're going to take a very short break, and then we're going to come back with Gemma Louise Doyle, a fantastic singer. Stay tuned. So welcome back, and now we have got Gemma Louise Doyle, our fantastic singer, as our main guest of this afternoon. Gemma, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everybody.
So good to see you.
You as well. Thank you for having me.
It's such a pleasure. And so we were talking for about 2 hours the other night. This young lady has got so much to talk about, so many values, and her talent is incredible. It's global. But what we want to do first of all, Gemma, before we speak to you, we're just going to play the video you sent the other night. Let's do that.
So inspirational, Gemma. That's so lovely. Before we move on to that, I just wanted to ask you, how many octaves do you sing? You've got the most phenomenal voice.
Thank you. Yes, I'm a petite, tiny little person with a huge 4-octave singing voice.
4 octaves. That's incredible. How long have you been able to sing like this?
Honestly, it was something that I was born with, and it's always been my passion. I remember some of my earliest memories were singing nursery rhymes in preschool, and I just naturally had a really high voice. So I like to be able to use that among different genres of music.
Amazing. That's so lovely. Thank you.
Thank you, Gemma. I mean, what is your inspiration? You know, we talked a lot the other night, and my goodness me, I found so much value in you. But what is the inspiration for you to sing? How did it all start, you know, for you to really be on the path that you wanted to be on right now?
Well, it's always been my greatest passion, singing. And there was a time in my life where I was critically ill and I wasn't able to do very much. And I spent most of 5 years of my teenage years in hospital fighting for my life. And during that time, I was so poorly, and all of the people around me were so worried about me that they restricted me, that I wasn't able to do anything. But the one thing that they allowed me to do was to sing. And through the experience of being surrounded by people and having to be in care and being watched all the time, I was kind of put into an environment where I had to sing in front of people in order to be able to do what I loved doing. And I learned in that environment that I could see that music could uplift people and heal people, and it was making a difference to the other patients who were in the hospital at that time. And so when I was fully recovered and I came home, I had a little more confidence to go out and perform on stage. And I noticed that when I would perform, it would lift people's energy, and I could see people who were very like low vibration or not very happy suddenly get this boost of energy and come to life. And so I've committed my life to be able to do that. And I feel that music is very healing and it brings people together. And no matter whether I'm performing for royal connections or celebrities, or if I'm in a birthday party or a wedding or even a pub venue and a restaurant, no matter what nationality we are or where we come from, the age or gender, everybody is all connected, and music is a universal thing that brings everybody together. And so I've made it my passion to give that energy and it's the most amazing feeling in the world to be able to make people experience something and feel something that makes them happier and brings humanity together, because I think that is a problem in society, is that most people are quite selfish and they live in their own little world. And I believe that really we all have a unique gift, and in life we should be using that gift and using our skills and talents to help one another and to make the world a better place, which is what my passion is with the lyrics that I write and what I create and what I do through my performances as a musician and a performer.
Certainly needed more than ever now, isn't it, Gemma? So that's really great. And obviously we just saw a clip just now of is this a new song that you've released with someone quite special, or someone's helped you? I know you've worked with some amazing people. If you're able to tell us a little bit more about this.
Yes, so I've performed for around more than 3,500 events now across the world.
Oh, goodness.
And
Amazing.
at one point in my life, I believe it was about 8 years ago now, I flew myself to Las Vegas on my own, and I didn't know anybody, but I ended up staying with some incredible people who had beautiful hearts, and I ended up being surrounded by headline celebrities and people who had shows on the Las Vegas Strip, and we were just at beautiful gatherings. And during that time, I performed for some descendants of the Walt Disneys. They'd opened a studio in Vegas, and I performed there. And they put me in touch with somebody in New York who was from England originally. And he told me that a member of Iron Maiden was coming to Vegas whilst I was there, and that we should go and see him. But it was funny that I'd already connected with this person because he owned some music venues in London. And so when I was back in the UK, I met up with him in person, and we became very good friends. He's an excellent musician and a brilliant songwriter. He's worked with a lot of celebrities throughout the years, and he's worked in music venues for decades. And so we co-wrote a song together called Reason. It's one of 7 or 8 songs which I've released onto Spotify and iTunes and all the different platforms. And Reason was based upon my time of being in hospital and the way that I discovered that my purpose in life to uplift people and bring people together through music and through the power of music, and that no matter what we go through in life, we all have the ability to turn our lives around and change our situation, and to be grateful for the good things that we have, and to find the strength within, or if you have faith, to find the strength with help from the divine as well, to create the life that you dream of. So that was what this particular song, Reason, was about, which we released, I think it was in 2016, and we did manage to get into the iTunes charts with that, in the alternative charts, so I was very pleased.
Gemma, you obviously want to give out messages with your music as well. What is the core message for your music these days? What are you trying to tell all these global audiences?
I want people to know that we are all one, and there's something very powerful, intrinsic. There's a connection between all people, and that everybody has a reason for being here in the world. And through identifying what that is and pursuing your passions and being persistent, it's possible to achieve anything in life. And I believe that we should all be more loving and live in a happier world where we're all one and we're all helping each other with our own skills and talents.
Oh, that's so lovely. Gemma, do you perform with a band as well? I mean, do you have your own band?
Yes. What I've found, however, is that maintaining a band is quite a difficult thing. And I would like to, I mean, this year, my plans are to be based in London and to have my own shows, which are mostly about my original music. But in terms of pinning musicians down, especially across London, everybody's busy and they're all doing different things. So getting everybody together in a studio, even just to record a video, was very hard work. And so throughout recent years, I have networked with a number of musicians who are very talented and have good hearts and that enjoy working with me. So we kind of have to pick and choose who's available when events come up at the moment.
And Gemma, you obviously went through struggles, you know, and you've been very open about some of the struggles that you've gone through. What kept you going? Was it purely music, or what was the sort of the push that was keeping you going, that you knew one day? In fact, did you know one day when you were going through those years that you were going to become a very famous, very big singer now?
I've always been quite a shy person, and I was brought up in a background with my parents who were never able to step onto stage. However, through my struggles and I mean, I've had quite a lot of traumatic experiences in life, and I've nearly died a number of times. But the most challenging parts of life have both been through relationships and other people not giving me the love that I have given to them, but also the music industry. I must be in at least one of the most difficult industries to have any success in. And there's a lot of rejection and it requires a lot of persistence. And for the past 15 years now, I've worked every day and every night, networking and traveling and being on the road, sometimes nearly 30 hours amongst a few days of the week. So it's a lot of work, but the thing that keeps me going, I mean, when I was in hospital, I had no choice because people were keeping me alive, and singing was one thing that I enjoyed doing that gave me some strength and passion. But the main thing now is seeing the way that I can touch other people and seeing people cry, or them letting out emotions that they might have been holding inside, or things that they were not able to express in the world. And so seeing people come together and being joyful when I'm on stage, or seeing people cry and dance, is the most touching thing. And when I get in the car after performance to go home, I feel the most blissful energy. I'm sure you understand, because when we can help people, it gives you a sense of purpose and knowing that we're all one, and a reason for being alive and being here in the world. And so to me, that's my driving force and the strength that I have. And I think that is the most wonderful thing that we can experience in life.
Absolutely.
You look so beautiful. You really are very beautiful. And it's amazing as well that you do your own songs, songwriting and everything. But have you ever, because as I sit here, this is sort of my past life, is working with impersonators and in the lookalike world, I can sort of make you into Marilyn or Kylie, or in having those great octaves, etc. You could turn your hand to any performance. Have you tried it? I don't want to obviously you're so talented and you do your own stuff, but as I look at you looking beautiful,
Oh, thank you. It's all makeup, really.
No. I just think,
Um, I have actually. I was on a cruise. I was on the cruises for a little while, and when I was there, I was the youngest person to have this role of a guest entertainer, and I was on a luxury cruise ship performing for 5,000 international guests. And so the booking agency asked me how to integrate some more cabaret into the show. And so I did once have a costume of Marilyn Monroe, and I did dress up like her, but it felt really ingenuine and not authentic to me. And I'm an extremely honest person. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I tell people how it is really. So I didn't enjoy that world. I loved traveling. I loved like the experiences of meeting people, and I loved just being on an aeroplane and just talking to people of any age and culture and nationality and different, and like experience life and the world. But for me, I much prefer writing and creating music and performing and delivering something that's really real and genuine and true. Whereas, to be honest with you, something that I'm struggling with at the moment, or a challenge for us in the entertainment world, is that the tributes have taken over. So all the singers now are impersonating and trying to be like somebody else and singing their songs. But I don't think the audiences particularly enjoy it as much, because whenever I go to a venue where they have tribute artists, they always find it very refreshing to have a variety, because I don't think most people want to listen to the same artist for 2 hours, like the same songs. For me, something that I do is, because I have such a versatile voice, I like to sing all different genres of music, from soul to alternative to pop hits throughout the 70s, 80s and 90s to now. And my favorite music to create is very powerful and cinematic film music and alternative music, and just anything that makes people really feel out of this world. And so it's not my favorite thing to dress up as somebody else, because I like to be true to myself.
And
But
you've
thank
talked
you for the
about your
compliment.
shyness, Gemma. How do you overcome shyness to go on stage and shine? Is there a transition as you're walking onto stage and then walking back off again?
To be honest with you, before I go onto stage, I like to really relax and meditate, because it reminds me that there's a much bigger power in this world, and so there's something bigger than all of us, and it makes me feel beautiful and divine, and like I can give people something, and no matter how large an audience it is, I can channel something that's much bigger than everyone that's there. So I guess that's where I get the confidence from. And also, when you've been performing for such a time and people appreciate my voice and what I do and my energy, you get showered with compliments, and so that makes me, oh well, I must be good at this then, so I should carry on, because I'm making a difference to people. And it's not about me. I guess some performers and singers, they go on and they have an ego about them, and they want to be loved and they want to receive compliments. But for me, I'm not very good at taking compliments. I prefer to feel as though, well, I believe that it's my duty and that I am giving something to help people and bring people together with music. So that's the better way to have, as anybody who is a performer or is wanting to become a performer. I would say treat it as though you are giving something, and it's more of a purpose rather than for you yourself. It's for the other people.
like a service, isn't it? Which is
Yeah.
beautiful, really beautiful. Do you have when you perform, and you've performed all over the world, is there a certain place that you feel you get the vibe from, you get a really good response, more so than maybe anywhere else? Or it could be in your hometown or anywhere. Just curious.
Honestly, I've had so many different experiences, and I think I've had a wonderful time in Ascot and Berkshire and London. I always meet really lovely people around the southern parts of England, but it can happen anywhere. I mean, I performed for some corporate events in Birmingham and had the most incredible time, and they repeatedly asked me to come back. And I love festivals. I think festivals are my favorite thing to do because everybody's in a good vibe and they're in that energy where they all want to be together, and it's very freeing. Being on a big stage feels very natural to me because I have such a powerful voice that I can express myself and I can run around the stage and move more. So I love being at festivals more than anything.
And we have a mutual friend, don't we, Gemma, in Juliana Davis as well. I mean, how important is it for other singers to recognise your talent as she did? I mean, she was on the phone to me saying, you've got to interview this young lady, she's terrific. How important is it to sort of actually have the people within the industry talking about you and complimenting you?
To be honest, I find it very surprising because I've worked with celebrities like my friend from Iron Maiden and various others. I was invited to Annabelle's private members club in Mayfair, and there'd been about 20 singers invited to audition. And I was immediately asked to perform for their annual party for the owners. And I always find it really surprising that people are so responsive and enthusiastic about my talent, because I'm just a girl who's come from nowhere really, in a quiet town where everybody goes home at 4 p.m. and watches the soap operas. And so I feel like a big fish in a small pond really. And when I go to these big places and people respond in such a way, I always find it very surprising. And I can't quite believe it, really.
Oh, that's very humble. It's a nice approach. So where do you think you're wanting to push things from here? You've achieved so much. Do you have plans for other things?
I feel like I have hardly achieved anything, to be honest. I mean, if you look at it from coming from a background where I was in hospital confined to a bed and doctors told my parents I wasn't going to make it through the night. And then I'm on big stages with a lot of celebrities. I guess you can say that, but to me it feels like I haven't even touched the surface of what I want to do. Because everywhere I go, people feel that I should be somewhere much bigger. And I just want to create a lot of music and have the freedom to do that, because the problem with the music industry these days is that it's very difficult for music artists to earn any income because music is free for most people. People pay a small subscription if they want premium accounts on Spotify and things, but the artists are paid 0.0004 pence per stream, or at least that's what I heard when I researched it most recently. And so we can commit time to create music. You have to have the time to have the freedom to be in that energy, in that space where there's no distractions and people don't need things from me all the time. Whereas at the moment, to be on the road and perform, it requires constant networking and responding and invoices and sending posters and people requesting music, especially for weddings and learning songs and things. So you're always very busy. But to be a music artist, I think I'll either require investment or fans supporting me on a subscription basis where they can receive my music. And that gives me the freedom to be able to be at home in the studio and really focus on writing what I want people to hear and to use my voice and create music and collaborate with producers and other artists to get that. But once you have the music, the thing is, you have to then get it onto the radio, you have to distribute it online, and then even when it's online, you have to then invest into the algorithms of social media and to these platforms like Spotify where people can discover music. Because otherwise, the only way that people will hear it is if you have strategies which enable people to discover you. And so that's what I'm working on right now. I have somebody in America who has helped other artists to be signed to record labels, and he's interested. He just reached out to me very recently. But at the moment, I'm looking to meet people who recognize what I'm doing and want to be part of that journey and able to help me to reach more people. And my ultimate goal is to be on stage selling out my own concerts and able to give people that love through music with my own songs.
So Gemma, probably a more harder question to answer, but I hope have a go. I mean, what is the modern day Gemma? What advice would you be giving to the teenage Gemma?
It's going to take a lot longer than you thought. A lot longer, but keep with it. And the difficult situations that you experience. I mean, this is not particularly music related. It's very difficult to have a social life when you're on the road and you're a music artist, because we don't work a 9-to-5 job. You know, we're working mostly at the weekends and at night time. But one of the things that I've struggled with, because I am very sensitive to people being selfish or manipulative, and because I'm very loving and I believe we all should be that way, I find it very difficult when other people are not that way. So to the younger me, I would say try not to worry too much about other people, because the way which others treat us is a reflection of themselves and how they feel inside and what they're going through in life. And just keep being persistent and always put the divine first, and keep focusing on your dream and yourself and helping others. Don't get involved with men. don't have relationships.
You don't mean that all the time, do you?
I don't mean that all the time, did you say?
Yes.
Yeah. Because everybody wants a companion, don't they? But you have to be with the right person and be happy in yourself. Because if you're in a relationship with somebody and they're not happy, they don't have anything to give you. If they're broken and they're not healed, then they're just going to zap all your energy away. So you have to make sure that you're with somebody who is happy and you can both give to the relationship.
Absolutely. Gemma, just quickly, how can people help you in what you're wanting to achieve? And because obviously it's important for you to write and produce. What can people do to support you?
Enjoy my music. So you can follow me on all the different streams. I have a website which is gemmalouisedoyle.com. My name begins with a G, so Gemma, Gemma Louise Doyle, Doyle. I have a website there which has a page of inspirational messages. If you're ever struggling, I'm creating music. So if you use any music platforms like Spotify and iTunes, you can follow me there. And if you use Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, you can subscribe to my channel to receive all of my video content and follow me on Instagram and all the stories and things, because I'm always putting out little messages when I'm inspired, especially after performances and I'm full of adrenaline, or I'm sharing my music and things and what I'm up to, and just happy posts.
Brilliant.
Really. So
that's so lovely. Gemma, thank you so much for joining us. It's been such a pleasure chatting to you, and I'm sure everyone's going to have a look at your social media have a peek at everything that you're doing. Thank you, and look forward
Thank
to
you.
hopefully seeing you again soon.
Yep.
Yes.
Come into the studio next
Be
time,
good.
Gemma, and come and
I will
do
do.
something live with us. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for today.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Take care.
Be good. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir.
Well, wasn't that a wonderful program that we've done again?
Lovely.
Lots of royal stories and a
Oh,
little bit of news as well. And then
trade,
so
business.
inspirational, this young lady, isn't she?
Absolutely. She's amazing. And what a voice. All those octaves. I could
Absolutely.
only dream. So,
Absolutely. I was going to ask her, does she shatter a glass? She goes so high. I have this image of her sort of,
it's such
singing
a
so high.
strong voice at the same time.
It is.
That's
It's
why
a
so
beautiful
special.
voice. It's a
Thank you,
beautiful
Gemma.
voice at the same time. Anyway, so we've come to the end of the show now. So as always, Helena, perhaps you'd like to thank the guests this week and for the people who help us as well.
Oh, well, that's a first, Ian. Goodness me. Thank you to Helena Dom Castrati from ALB UK TV. Thank you for Jacqueline Kerbeck for all her support as well, USA Global TV and Radio. And we also have great people that we work with in China. That's Nancy, and I can't remember her surname.
Dwen, Nancy Dwen.
Nancy Dwen, that's right.
So
until next week.
have a great week from me, Ian Pelham Turner.
And from me, Helena Chard. See you again.
Take care. Bye-bye.